Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you here on this Monday morning, talking to you about you and your business. As usual, I have a lot to cover, so I want to get straight into it. Marty Okner, he's a regular contributor on The Price of Business, and he's with a great organization out there that helps middle market companies grow. And always love to hit the conversation. And he brings on the program because part of our focus is on the middle market, often neglected. You've got the romanticized small business, and then you've got these leviathans of mega corporations with plenty of ink following them. But often we don't hear much about the mid-market companies, and we like to focus a lot on those on The Price of Business. And so he is, among other things, with the Association for Corporate Growth. The website for that is acg.org. But what's the name of your actual company that you work for? And tell us a little bit about that, Marty.
Sure. Thanks so much, Kevin, and it's a pleasure to be on the show, and I hope you guys are surviving those floods down there in Houston. My company is SHM Corporate Navigators, and what we do is prepare companies for sale or capital raise. And it really speaks to the heart of companies that are members and benefit from the services of ACG members because it's really the heart of the middle market. Companies with $20 million to $250 million in sales, many cases family-owned or entrepreneur-run, second- and third-generation family businesses. And, you know, it's really, to your point, Kevin, kind of the unsung hero of the U.S. economy, where they employ almost 48 million people throughout the United States. There are actually 300,000 of these entities, and they've actually added the most jobs over the past 5 years. And really, private capital has been a lot of the source of those jobs. So the private equity firms and the family offices that make direct investments into these companies. And today, I'm really pleased to have Gary LaBranche join us, who is our full-time. He leads our full-time management team for ACG globally out of the Chicago headquarters. Gary is the CEO of ACG Global. And Gary, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Marty. And Kevin, appreciate being on here this morning. And our thoughts are with everybody down there in Houston and throughout the Southwest with all the horrible weather you've been having. So
thank you.
Hang in there and keep your heads above water down there, Kevin.
I will. I appreciate that, and we certainly are doing our best. So tell us a little bit about your company and your background.
Well, ACG is a nonprofit organization that's been around since 1954 and has grown to almost 15,000 members. Most of those are in the United States and Canada, North America. 57 chapters, 45 in the United States. So we have chapters all across the United States. Our largest chapter in New York City, all the way to Atlanta, Chicago, Seattle, Columbus, Ohio, Los Angeles, you name it. ACG is in every major city, and the mission of ACG is driving middle market growth. And so we're delighted to be on a show that focuses on the middle market. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're working very hard on that. No question about it. Marty, your question?
Sure. So, Gary, one of the things that, ACG has really grown over the years is a very large membership base of private equity firms because, as I mentioned before, private capital has really been the growth engine for the middle market. And, given a lot of regulatory pressure on the financial industry and also, just the general public perception of private equity kind of turning sour during the 2012 elections really led to some new strategic initiatives for ACG. And can you talk about that a little bit? Where we've been going with from a public policy standpoint?
Sure. ACG's members are the investors, including private equity and others, as well as the owners, executives, and lenders and advisors to the world's fastest-growing middle-market companies. And to a great degree, the organization's leaders felt compelled to move into advocacy, which the organization hadn't done in its entire history. But we were compelled to do so because of encroachment and additional burdens put on middle-market companies and those that serve them, in particular Dodd-Frank, other kinds of regulations that started to emerge that, frankly, disproportionately impacted middle-market companies and had a major impact on the access to capital and flow of capital to middle-market companies. And that really was sort of the dividing line. For many years, the organization felt it was not in the organization's best interest to get involved in advocacy, but at a certain point, the organization just said, well, in order to make sure that that the middle market survives and thrives, we must have our voice heard in Washington.
So what would you say is some of the driving causes for the neglect, if you will, for the middle market by the media and really in the conversation about business in general?
Well, I don't know if you know, but yesterday was Middle Child Day in America. Did you guys know that?
No. I'm the youngest child, so I pretty much ignored the middle child like everyone else in the family.
That's my point. And I don't know if it was Middle Market Day or not, but that's the point. And I'm the eldest of three boys, and so I never paid attention to the middle boy and my middle brother. But in reality, that's what's happened to the middle market. There's a lot of focus on small business, startup businesses. The halo of the two people in the garage creating a new product that 2 weeks later is $1 billion company. Those are mostly fallacies and mostly myths. But we do have this sort of a strong American ethos around, the startup company and small companies, and that's a valuable part of the economy. And of course, we know about big business, and big business is well represented in Washington, and rightly so. They have their own issues, and they also have tons of money and get the access to major regulators and legislators because of their size. Lost in that conversation is the middle market. And as Marty said in his comments, middle market is a very significant driver. In fact, 3/4 of the growth of sales and jobs in the United States over the last 18 years was through the middle market. The middle market today is 1/3 of the U.S. GDP.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's a monster, but it's a monster that's only beginning now to get its footing and have its voice heard in Washington.
Yes, interesting. Marty?
Yeah, Gary, so, you mentioned a lot of these facts and figures, and, one of the things that I think has been so successful with our public policy initiative down in Washington is really bringing this message to policymakers and regulators about the size and scale of the middle market. Can you talk about some of the tools that ACG has developed in order to bring that message down to the Hill?
Sure. We've ACG has been able to put together, first of all, a pretty strong grassroots action network of our members, and our members are everywhere. And so, if we need to reach a legislator in Michigan, we have members who live in that district or in that state and can visit with that person. So we've got a team of members who are volunteering their time to take that message to the Hill. We've helped to create the Congressional Caucus for Middle Market Growth in the United States House of Representatives. A caucus is a club within the House of Representatives, and we were able to help get that formed just simply to bring data and research and insights about the middle market to members of Congress. And that has been a very, very important part in ACG's ability to be the voice of the middle market. We created a summit, a policy summit every year that we bring members and media and legislators and regulators together to have a dialogue about the impact of the middle market.
Gary,
and then yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to forgive me. We're like way over clock. I just noticed, and it's such a phenomenal topic. I kind of got lost in it, but I want to encourage the listener to go to growtheconomy.org. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Growtheconomy.org to get more information about it. Marty, thanks so much. Gary, appreciate both of you, and we'll need to continue this conversation again in the future, gentlemen.
Kevin, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for having us on the show.
You bet. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. And this is The Price of Business.